Hi guys, welcome back to Startup Central. As you know, back in 2023, when Bitcoin became the most prevalent token of use around the world and its price climbed to a new high of $150,000, most people started taking self-custody of their own money. And most banks around the world started going broke because people didn't actually want to store money in there anymore. So how did the few surviving banks manage to survive? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. So without further ado, let's get started. Kind of sounds silly, right, guys? We're still in 2022, but we kind of can see towards the future. And when the next halving of Bitcoin becomes a reality, and that's not far along in the future, that's about a year and a half in the future, a lot of people will start putting money back in Bitcoin because they know it's going to go and reach new heights. And by my estimates, at least we can reach $150,000. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but I have been, somewhat good on predicting what's going to happen because of analyzing the megatrends. And there are a lot of megatrends right now going on, and a lot of this are related to the crypto industry taking its place in the whole financial industry. So if you have been using banks for the last 20 years, even 30 years, you know that there are a lot of deficiencies. Banks go broke. Sometimes if you want to do something with your bank, achieve something, you need to go to the branch and you have to stay hours there, or you need to call on a phone, and the person on the phone, especially in developing countries, is not known by of being the most efficient and cordial person. So a lot of people are kind of seeing the benefits of taking custody of their own money. So if you are earning money in DeFi, if you can get loans in DeFi, and you can self-custody your money, then what's the benefit of banks? Right, guys? Probably if you've been in the crypto industry for a while, you already know all this. There's one single thing that kind of makes me uneasy still about migrating the full entirety of my money to the crypto space. And that is, what if stablecoins fail? Now, we have seen that happen already with UST not so long ago. And for some reason, and we have discussed those reasons earlier, USDT has been, walking in a sneaky path, and its spec has not been maintained fully, although it has not failed yet. So will it fail? We don't know. What would be the safest thing for us as people or investors to put our money in the crypto space that is not a CBDC created by the government? That's a good question, because once we start using CBDCs, our governments will know everything we do with our money, from where we invest, where we spend them. And if you are able to use those CBDCs at McDonald's or Starbucks or whatever you want to do, or even those websites that you're kind of ashamed of acknowledged visiting, then your privacy is gone. And the main thing about crypto is having your own privacy and your own custody. So going back to that story I was telling you earlier, why would anyone want to put their money in the bank, right? That there's no further use for them. So, and probably you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, for a while I worked in the banking industry, and I was in the e-business department. So I was in charge of creating new uses for or services for the bank to innovate for their customers. So trying to see with that lens, but at the current state of banking, one of the things that could make them survive, the few that are able to adapt to these new trends, is potentially, guys. And there's a lot of things that need to be solved before this happens, but I would trust my stable coins much more if a financial institution was creating them with actual real dollars printed by the government than by Tether, which Tether is kind of a shady, it's not a shady company, I wouldn't say shady, but they're not the most open. Now we do have USDC, we have Paxos USD, and we have Binance, but there could be a lot of things that could shake the peg of those currencies because they're not real dollars. And starting by, what if the government tomorrow, the US government, forbade anyone from actually creating stablecoins other than who they actually give permission to do that. So if that happened, your stablecoins at USDC, USDP, USDT, or every other experimental stablecoin would be worth pretty much nothing. So that's a major risk in the crypto industry. So that's the reason why I recently, sold all my stablecoins and bought Bitcoin, because I know Bitcoin is independent of the government, and that's even safer, guys, in my opinion, than stablecoins. So what would make banks become trustable issuers of stablecoins? Well, for once, if legislation came that legalized them issuing stablecoins, then at least we know that the creator, or not the creator, the issuer of USD, like the actual coin or currency, would be backing these stablecoins. So if that happened, guys, there's a few benefits that could come from that. One, we know that the U.S. government always bails out banks. So if something bad happened with a certain stablecoins, we could have FDIC insurance. So that would protect your money, your stablecoins, up to a certain amount. That would be so much better than what we currently have. Now, there are big companies like Binance backing BUSD, but I wonder if a DPEG came into place, would they cover everything and every BUSD you own? Probably not. We don't know. It's a big if. But a whole different thing is if the U.S. government issued that insurance. And of course, the U.S. government will not insure stablecoins issued by someone that they don't have a relationship with. But currently, they do have a relationship with banks. So if they insure those stablecoins, that's a whole different game that would entirely change the crypto space. That would bring a lot more money to the crypto space. And then once there's a lot of more money in there, people, new crypto users, would be turning around and saying, what else is around in this industry? And they will start looking at Bitcoin. They probably have heard about Bitcoin for many years, but now that they have cryptocurrency, it would be much easier for them to go and buy crypto. So imagine this, guys. I'm going to call this guy John Doe. He lives in Alabama, and he's 80 years old, and suddenly he has two options: get his own CBDCs, US dollars, by 2023, or go to Wells Fargo or Chase or Bank of America and convert his current bank account into Wells Fargo issued stablecoins. That would be like automatic. He would have to do nothing. And once he has those stablecoins, probably he could be explained in his branch how to use a wallet, crypto wallet. And by 2023, I would expect this would be much easier for people who are more challenged to understand technology. Then a lot of more money could come into Bitcoin, because I know a lot of people who are of elderly that are interested in buying Bitcoin, but they're afraid of the technology. They're afraid of stablecoins because they have heard about what happened to USD, and they don't want to lose all their savings. But a whole different thing would be if their own bank, the one that they've been banking with for 20, 30, 40 years, suddenly made this automatic and easy for them. So that's, I think, in my opinion, having worked at a bank, having studied my master's degree in finance, financed by this bank that later employed me, and a lot of the teachers were working for this bank, I kind of am sorry for those banks, because there's going to be no reason for them to exist if they still operate thinking the same way they have been operating in the last 100 years. But issuing stablecoins could change things. It could bring them to a DeFi age, because they could be a protocol that could issue interest rates, right, guys? So it would be kind of the same thing, but a little bit different. And that makes most people, that 80% that are afraid of crypto, to become more familiarized and more open about crypto. And that, of course, guys, that will bring the price of Bitcoin further up. And I think, I estimate, I hope that by 2023, we will see Bitcoin $150,000, especially if banks react and those that do not go broke start changing their ways. So I hope you like this video. This is just an easy Sunday thought experience or experiment. If this was useful or entertaining to you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want to continue learning how to invest like a Silicon Valley investor does. See you in the next video. Bye bye now.